the outset, I submit my reverential pranams at the lotus feet of His Holiness, Dr. Sri Sri Shivakumara Swamigalu and Sri Sri Siddhalinga Swamigalu. Respected chief guests of today's program, heads of various departments, faculty, staff, invitees, my dear first-year students and their parents, very good morning to you all. It is in your moments of decision that your destiny is shaped. You have decided to join SIT, and 4 years down the lane, you will be graduating in a chosen discipline and will be rewarded with an awesome career. I wholeheartedly congratulate all of you for choosing SIT for pursuing your engineer and architecture program. Wish you all a productive and fruitful time for the next 4 years. We will begin this inaugural function by invoking the blessings of Almighty. I call upon Ms. Shruti Manjunath, 9th semester architecture, to perform the invocation. Ms. Shruti.
Vakratunda Mahakaya Koti Surya Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. He Rambhani Nage Vandane, He Rambhani Nage Vandane, ಆರಂಭದಲ್ಲಿ ನಿನ್ನ ಆರಾಧನೆ ರಂಭನಿನಗೆ ವಂದನೆ ಆರಂಭದಲ್ಲಿ ನಿನ್ನ ಆರಾಧನೆ ರಂಭನಿನಗೆ ವಂದನೆ ತಾಯಿಯಾಣೆಗೆ ನಟಿಸಿ ಪ್ರಥಮ ಪೂಜೆಯನ್ನು ಪಡೆದವನೇ ತಾಯಿಯಾಣೆಗೆ ನಟಿಸಿ ಪ್ರಥಮ ಪೂಜೆಯನ್ನು ಪಡೆದವನೇ ಆತ್ಮಲಿಂಗವಾಧರಗಿಳಿಸಿ ಗೋಕರ್ಣದಿ ನೆಲೆಸಿರುವವನೇ ಗೋಕರ್ಣದಿ ನೆಲೆಸಿರುವವನೇ ರಂಭ ನಿನಗೆ ವಂದನೆ ಆರಂಭದಲ್ಲಿ ನಿನ್ನ ಆರಾಧನೆ ರಂಭ ನಿನಗೆ ವಂದನೆ ಪೂಜಿಪೆನು ವಿನಾಯಕನೇ ಅಭಯವನೇ ಕೊಡುದೊರೆಯೇ ಪೂಜಿಪೆನು ವಿನಾಯಕನೇ ಅಭಯವನೇ ಕೊಡುದೊರೆಯೇ ಎನ್ನ ಮೊರೆಯ ನೀ ಆಲಿಸುದೊರೆಯೇ ಎನ್ನ ಮೊರೆಯ ನೀ ಆಲಿಸುದೊರೆಯೇ ರಂಭ ನಿನಗೆ ವಂದನೆ ಆರಂಭದಲ್ಲಿ ನಿನ್ನ ಆರಾಧನೆ ರಂಭ ನಿನಗೆ ವಂದನೆ ಆರಂಭದಲ್ಲಿ ನಿನ್ನ ಆರಾಧನೆ ಹೇ ರಂಭ ನಿನಗೆ ವಂದನೆ
Thank you, Shruti, for your reverential invocation. I now request our beloved principal, Professor S.V. Dinesh, to welcome the gathering.
I submit my respectful pranams to His Holiness Dr. Sri Sri Shivakumara Mahaswamigalu, Founder President, Siddhganga Education Society, and Sri Sri Siddhalinga Mahaswamiji, our revered President, and seek their blessings to begin this welcome function for freshers of 2021-22 undergraduate students of SIT. Chief guest of this function, respected Sri Satish Ganta, Executive Vice President, Spiridian Technologies, Bangalore, respected Professor Channabasappa Sir, Director SIT, respected Sri T.K. Nanjundappa Sir, Honorable Secretary SSCS, respected Professor Shivkumar A. Sir, CEO SIT, newly admitted students and their parents, faculty and staff members, very good morning to all of you. Every year, SIT is organizing a grand welcome for first year students, and it is our tradition that all our students are blessed by His Holiness on this occasion. This year, we are having this function in virtual mode due to COVID-19. We made a submission to our revered President, His Holiness Sri Siddhalinga Swamiji, for his divine presence to preside over this function and for delivering benediction. His Holiness has the mammoth responsibility of running Sri Siddhaganga Mutt, that is, he has to look after the welfare of more than 10,000 rural poor children, the administration of more than 130 educational institutions. He is also a very busy personality attending public functions and religious activities. In spite of his busy schedule, Swamiji is kind enough to consent to our request and is present on this occasion for blessing all of us. I extend reverential welcome to His Holiness. During the welcome function for freshers, we invite corporate executives to address our students regarding the industry expectations in terms of skills and knowledge. This year, we invited respected Sri Satish Ganta, Executive Vice President, Head APAC, Spiridian Technologies, Bangalore. You all know that Spiridian Technologies is a global business and technology solutions provider, and this company is helping their clients in modernizing their businesses through digital transformation. Sri Satish Ganta consented to our request, and he will be delivering the chief guest's address in virtual mode. I extend a cordial and warm welcome to respected Sri Satish Ganta. It gives me immense pleasure to extend hearty welcome to our director, respected Professor Channabasappa Sir, who will be addressing the oath to all the freshers. Hearty welcome to you, sir. We requested our Honorable Secretary, SSCS, Sri T.K. Nanjundappa Sir, to grace the occasion and to deliver elderly advice to all our students. He consented and present here. I extend a hearty welcome to you, sir. It gives me great pleasure to extend hearty welcome to our beloved CEO, Professor Shivkumar A. Sir, who will be addressing our students on this occasion. Hearty welcome to you, sir. I extend a hearty welcome to faculty and staff members who are attending this function in virtual mode. Hearty congratulations to all the first-year students and their proud parents who are attending this function in virtual mode for having chosen SIT for undergraduate studies. For parents, I would like to say, dear parents, SIT is led by spiritual leadership and has a rich tradition, and we have a Gurukul culture with us. We assure you that your ward is in safe and caring environment. Students' welfare is our top priority. We work closely with parents. We request you please be in constant touch with the proctor who will be allotted to your ward. Please do visit institute regularly to know the progress of your ward. For students, dear students, it is with hopes and aspirations, dreams and ambitions that you have joined SIT. At present, everything seems to be new for you. You have new classrooms, new teachers, new friends. You will be also exposed to new technology here. Let me tell you, SIT was established in the year 1963, and I would say it is a spreading tree of knowledge for decades. Presently, SIT is ranked among the top institutions in the country under National Institutional Ranking Framework of MHRD, Government of India, and in this ranking we are competing with NITs and IITs. I am also happy to share with you, we are setting up AICT Idea Lab for supporting students to work on product development. We are providing additional skilling programs starting from your batch. We also have a technology business incubation center for establishing startups. I'm also happy to tell you that the new education policy 2020 will be implemented starting from the academic year 2021-22. You will be a lucky batch. Also, more than 150 companies visit with offers soaring above over 950 for the current batch. So, in all, I would like to assure you, you have come to an institution which enables you to meet your career goals, to build your character, your discipline, and you will be an excellent human being during your course of 4 years stay here. Students, there are many activities in the campus. You can be part of them. And I do wish that each one of you will find your part in some of them. A couple of suggestions for the young students who have joined SIT. Please study well. Focus on what is the best for you in the long run. Second one, please choose your friends wisely. Seek out friends who will be willing to be part of the study group with you. Third one, there are many student clubs in the college. Please become a member of one or more clubs, which will certainly help you in all-round development. Please get involved in co-curricular and extracurricular activities, and also we have good sports facilities. Please make use of them. Also, one more appeal, do visit Sri Siddhaganga Mutt to understand the social service the Mutt is rendering for the betterment of society, and do take part as a volunteer in some of the Mutt activities if you wish. Maybe we will help you how actually you can involve in the Mutt activities. We will certainly help you. Next, please get enough sleep, eat healthy food, and exercise regularly so that your body and your mind will work efficiently. Students, stay safe in the pandemic times, follow the COVID norms. In addition, you will be informed of the do's and don'ts on the campus. Please follow them. Lastly, I would say, anytime, any problem you face, we are there for you. Finally, I wish the best time of your life during the course of study here. Wish you all the God's best in your studies. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for welcoming the gathering and extending a bit of advice to the first year students and briefing about the facilities available in the institute. Asatoma Sadgamaya, Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, Mrutyurmo Amrutam Gamaya, Hom Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. From ignorance lead me to the truth, from darkness lead me to the light, from death lead me to the immortality. I request His Holiness and all the dignitaries on the dais to inaugurate first year classes by lighting the lamp. Request 2 students to join. Please come. The burning lamp symbolizes knowledge, success, and peace. I thank His Holiness and all the dignitaries for inaugurating the first year classes by lighting the lamp. The next program, impression about SIT by senior students. Firstly, I call upon Miss Siri AM, 7th semester Computer Science and Engineering. Miss Siri.
Good morning, one and all. At the outset, I submit my reverential pranams at the lotus feet of His Holiness Shri Shri Shivakumara Swamigalu and Shri Shri Siddhalinga Swamigalu, President Shri Siddhaganga Education Society. Respected Chief Guest of this inauguration function, Shri Satish Ghanta Sir, Secretary Sir, Director Sir, CEO Sir, Principal Sir, Deans, HODs, Professors, Media People, my first year friends and their proud parents. I, A.M. Siri, from 7th semester CSC, feel highly honored to stand before you all to speak a few words about our institution. First of all, let me welcome all my fresher friends to the SIT portal. Friends, as any success story tells us, to achieve anything in life, one has to set goals and chase them relentlessly. You may want to become a successful entrepreneur, a great leader, or make a responsible professional, and serve humanity across the globe. To become successful in the career path, one needs to be primarily good at technical competency and soft skills. Our college, Siddhaganga Institute of Technology, started by the great visionary Karnataka Ratna His Holiness Dr. Shri Shivakumara Swamigalu, has been working with the motto of "Work is Worship" for the past 59 years. Being an autonomous institution, SIT has had an advantage of designing a program-specific academic framework as per the vision of the institution. There are many courses such as ATT Lab, industrial training, internship and project works which have focus on employability, entrepreneurship and skill development. We have options of choosing courses in our area of interest. We have been taking MOOC courses also to enhance our technical competency. To build soft skills such as communication, crisis management, stress management, and leadership quality, we have specially designed Feel Employable, which is a personality development training program, soft skills program, communicative English, aptitude-related analytical skills, and so on. These help us to develop the self-esteem and build right attitude towards facing real-life challenges. Friends, if you want to improve your interpersonal communication, you have to sharpen your ability to organize and manage events. SIT provides you a platform for that. Each department conducts a technical symposium annually where we get an opportunity to organize, coordinate various events. We participate and compete with our peer ones at national level. To facilitate all student-centric activities, we are fortunate to have the following. Number one, a benign management system which supports and encourages us in all our endeavors. Secondly, qualified, experienced and highly competitive faculty to take us through the engineering journey. Thirdly, good state-of-the-art labs for academic and R&D related activities. Fourthly, Siddhaganga Technology Business Incubator to support innovation and entrepreneurship. SIT AICTE Idea Lab to implement innovative ideas and to develop a prototype design. In SIT, few departments have undertaken consultancy projects for companies. Students are given opportunity to work in these consultancy projects to help them get a glimpse of professional approaches towards solving real-life problems. We have different student clubs in institution, such as Decoders, Pathfinders, Ham Club, Idea, Scripting, Dynamics, and many more, where students get an opportunity to interact with each other across the departments. Idea exchange, interaction, passing the trains happen here, and learning with peers is unparalleled. SIT has a well-equipped 16-hour open library. We have a nice health center with a caring medical officer and his team. We have this beautiful Birla auditorium with seating capacity of 1,000, one state-of-the-art media center, a bank, a post office, a gym, stadium for indoor and outdoor sport activities, a canteen, and many more. We SITians have adopted a few best practices. Number one, we are given a work planner book in the beginning of each academic year, where we can plan our next day's work and assess the same at the end of the day. We can apprise ourselves each day and plan better for the next day. Rules and regulations of the institution are mentioned in the same. Tutorials in remedial classes help us in solving more complex problems through supervised learning. Secondly, we have a proctorial system, which is in place to effectively counsel us. Academic plans mentioning all the activities of that semester would be given to us. Each faculty would provide lesson plans indicating teaching, learning, assessment methods on an hourly basis. We have a vibrant training and placement department to conduct placement-oriented training programs. They organize recruitment activities in the 6th semester. This time, companies like Amazon, Cisco, Zscalers, Nuclei, JP Morgan, Accenture, and many more have visited our campus. So friends, I invite you all to join us in contributing our part in building a new Atmanirbhar India. Finally, I salute my institution for giving me an opportunity to speak before this august audience. Thank you all. Have a nice day.
Thank you, Siri, for sharing your expressions and impressions about SIT. Comprehensively and precisely you have told about SIT. Now I request Mr. Shroy Vijay, 7th semester Electronics and Communication Engineering, to share his impressions about SIT. Mr. Shroy.
Good morning, one and all. Submitting my reverential pranamas to the lotus feet of His Holiness, Dr. Sri Sri Shivkumar Swamigadu, Sri Siddhalinga Swamigadu. Respected Chief Guest of this inauguration function, Sri Satish Ghanta Sir, Secretary Sir, Director Sir, CEO Sir, Principal Sir, Deans, HODs, Professors, Media, Engineering career aspirants and their proud parents. I, Shri Vijay, 7th semester EC, currently the chairman of IEEE SITSB, feel honored to stand here and give a student's perspective of our institution. Before going ahead, I would like to extend a warm welcome to all the freshers and congratulate you all for choosing SIT. This is one of the best colleges across the country to start a new and fresh chapter of your life. This is going to be full of new challenges, milestones, and achievements. You must be having different questions, including how are people here, what can I do to maximize my potential while I'm here, and what is this place like? Because when I started, I too had these all questions. And yes, I got all the answers positively. And that is what I want to talk about today. So coming to the first questions, how are people here? We have amazing knowledgeable teachers with many years of experience in their field of expertise. So when you're exploring, you always have someone to go to and get the best advice. You will also be having seniors who have got good placements, always ready to guide and show you the right path that followed to achieve their goals. And the great placement department provides all the types of training required for placements through various labs and programs, and always make sure that the best companies are visiting. So try to communicate and participate more, connect with teachers, seniors, and get moving on to the next question. What can I do to maximize my potential while I'm here? I would like to divide this answer into 3 parts. The first one being goal setting. You will have all the facilities available in the college, so the first step should be exploring your interests and setting up a goal. And once you have it, you should break it down into daily habits to develop the discipline required to achieve it. Second one being academics. For this, you need to be consistent. That is, regularity to the classes, maintaining proper notes, and reading daily. Because while you're reading for the quizzes, you're preparing for the test, and the preparation for test will help you in externals. You'll also be having 2 projects as a part of your curriculum, which will help you implementing what you have learned in the classes. And our college, being an autonomous institution, the curriculum is being revised regularly to add the need of present-day industries. The college also gives you an option to do internship for a whole semester. And there are various more opportunities, including research, where you can deep dive into a certain technology, build projects, and get patent. The third is extracurricular activities. These are as important as academics because it helps you build up the soft skill and the confidence. Where various clubs in college, you will be able to discover one that suits your interests, be it drama, literary, debating, technical, managerial, dance, or music. We also have an international society IEEE, which helps you with holistic development. But why to join clubs? From my experience, these are the things which I've gained from IEEE. It had helped me in develop my communication and interpersonal skills, learn how to work better in a team, which was really helpful during my placements. And not just that, The subgroup activities helped me develop my technical abilities and core knowledge. It also helped me handling situations, conducting events, resource handling, and improving managing skills. So I suggest everyone to join at least one club and know more about the clubs. Do attend the session tomorrow. Coming to the last question, what is this place like? It's a beautiful, huge campus with all the facilities available. You will be introduced to all these facilities on the coming day of the induction program, so attend it attentively. At last, I want to thank my institution for this opportunity, and I would suggest all the freshers to make the best out of your college life. All the very best. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Shroy, for sharing your impressions and experiences about SIT. Now, impressions by parents. I request Sri M.G. Ramachandran, father of M.G. Pawan Kumar, first semester Artificial Intelligence and Data Science, to share his impression about the institute.
At the outset, let me submit my humble pranams to founder Dr. Shivakumar Swamigalu and His Holiness Siddhalinga Swamigalu, Vice President, Head of APAC, Sri Satish, Guest of Honor, Sri Nanjundappa, Director SIT, Sri Channabasappa, CEO, Shivakumarayya, Principal, Dr. Dinesh, and other respectable personalities of the podium. It gives me an immense pleasure for having got an opportunity to share few words on this occasion at this spiritual and divine campus. Most of the educational institutions of today work for the growth or enhancing knowledge of the students studying there. It is in this context SIT differs from other institutions. While other institutions contribute to the growth of the students, SIT mainly concentrates on the elevation of the mindset and aptitude of the students. There is a big difference between the growth and the elevation. Growth attributes to only self-development, whereas elevation is capable of developing not only an individual but also overall development of society. Rather, we can call it as mass progress. This elevation contributes mainly because of spiritual environment prevailing in this campus that is guided through sincerity, dedication, and hard work of faculty members. It would be rather fallacious to state that SIT is producing only students of merit. Rather, it would be right to say that SIT produces future useful citizens for the country. This would not have been possible but for the blessings of our founder, Sri Shivakumar Swamiji, and due to the divine presence of His Holiness Siddhalinga Swamigalu. The contribution of professors, lecturers, and management team also play an important role which cannot be ruled out. Thanks to their sincere efforts and successful efforts. On this occasion, I request His Holiness Swamigalu to share his valuable blessings to students of our institute to become useful citizens combined with culture, heritage, and dedication. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I request Sri Vijay Kumar, father of Yeshu Lakshmi C., student of first year Electronics and Telecommunication, to share his impression. Sri Vijay Kumar. Sir, please come.
My humble pranams at the lotus feet of Swamijis, dignitaries on the dais and off the dais, respected faculty members of this great institution, and the students of SIT. Good morning to all of you. I am happy to share few of my views as a parent of Ujjwal Kulkarni, who has joined mechanical engineering in this esteemed institution. Why I chose SIT for my son's education is, as sir told, it is an institution driven by spiritual values by the founder Swamiji and the Honorable President of this institution. The final goal of human beings is the salvation, and everybody should have some values in their life. Then only it will be a fulfillment of human life. I am being educated in an ashram. I prefer the values first and then the livelihood. All the institutions which are led by spiritual mutts are the places where Gurukul system, as sir told, is existing. And also, as I am in the field of education and worked as principal of many residential schools across Karnataka, I know that my students have entered these institutions and has achieved a lot. And with their views and also the alumni of this great institution, I inquired and they suggested to choose this institution. Apart from that, the institution has a good ranking across India as well as in Karnataka. And those higher ranked institutions, apart from this, have got that high ranking only because of the campus recruitment. I would like to say the faculty members of SIT are far better than those institutions. As per my observation, it is to know the technology and the studies is very important than just making the news by taking the first place. Whereas SIT is making the state of architecture in its all facilities, and I am thankful to Swamiji and all the leaders of this institution, and I am happy that my child is in safe hands, and also all the parents. I also inform you that your children will have best education available in this institution. Thank you one and all.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your impression about SIT. Now, introduction of Chief Guest, Sri Satish Ghanta, Executive Vice President and Head, Asia Pacific Region, Speridian Technologies, Bangalore. I request Dr. Anbalagan Eroji, Professor and Head, Department of Training and Placement, to introduce the Chief Guest. Mr. Anbalagan.
Good morning to everyone, and a warm welcome to all of you on the freshest days functions of 2021-22 batch. I feel extremely honored to introduce the chief guest today. He is an amazing person, hails from a humble background, underwent education in a normal school and college, but demonstrated his capabilities and grew from a small town middle class student to one of the IT services companies, Indian Technology Center, and Asia Pacific region head, having more than 1,400 plus employees. I see him very confident but humble, highly determined, with a helping hand to all. As I said earlier, he studied his engineering from Vijayanagara Engineering College, Bellary, Karnataka, started his career in 1995 as a system associate in NIT Technologies Limited, become a senior consultant with Silverline Technologies, moved on to CGI Federal as senior consultant, was a project lead with Booz Allen Hamilton for a brief period, later become a development manager with Amerisource Begin. In 2011, he joined Speridian as CRM practice director and became executive vice president and India head, managing the Indian and Asian Pacific region. It's a story of a small town engineer to become an India head in a highly demanding technology space, an apt personality for today's event. Dear students, it's a privilege for me to introduce Mr. Satish Kanta, Executive Vice President and India Head. Sir, welcome to today's events, and it's over to you, please. Please give him a big round of applause.
Mr. Satish Ganta to deliver the inaugural address. Satish sir? Satish sir? Okay. Okay.
Everyone is able to hear me well. I do hope everyone is safe and healthy, with the tough pandemic that we are all going through. To begin with, a very warm welcome to all the students, their parents, the respected teachers. I would like to thank His Holiness, the President Sri Sri Siddhalinga Swamigalu, Secretary Nanjundappa, Director Channabasappa, CEO Dr. Shivkumaraya, and Professor Dinesh for inviting me to speak to you students and be part of this inauguration of the first year batch of 2021-2022. It's an absolute honor for me to be here today. Siddhaganga Institute of Technology, based out of Tumkur, popularly known as SIT, as you all know, was established in the year 1963. So it's really an old institution out there, and it's one of among the 125 institutions run by Sri Siddhaganga Education Society. I would like to take this opportunity to commend Siddhaganga Gurukula for providing free good, the food, education, and accommodation to more than 11,000 students. At the time of inception, this institute was actually offering only 3 branches: civil, mechanical, and electrical. And even going back to my days, which was early 1990s, those were the very few branches that even I was familiar with. So back in those days, with an annual intake of only 120 students. Today, this institute is offering 13 undergraduate programs, 16 postgraduate programs, with an annual intake of close to 1,400 students, which is extremely impressive. 15 departments of the institute are actually recognized by the research centers of Vishvesvaraya Technology University, Belgaum. So the message that I want to start off, I think, to all the I'm going to call them kids, but students and the parents, you all can be extremely proud and confident that you are in a very, very safe place. And I think you're going to go places thanks to the education that you're going to get in the next 4 years. Just to give you guys a quick background about me and our organization. I'm head of Speridian India, Speridian Technologies, and a partner in the company. I've been associated with the company for almost close to 11 years. Jan 31st is the date when I started with the company. We are a services organization in the IT field, information technology, but we also have built many products catering to healthcare, financial services, and the public sector domain under the larger umbrella of Speridian Global. We are headquartered in Albuquerque, US, and Trivandrum, in India. But we also have presence overall in 6 countries and have close to 17 offices across the globe. Within India, just so you guys know, we are based out of Trivandrum, Kochi, Calicut, so a bit heavy on the Kerala side, but we also have offices in Bangalore and Mumbai. Ideally, we would have probably opened some new offices this year because of the growth we have seen. But thanks to the pandemic, we kind of had to put a stop on the offices opening, right? But we do have plans to open an office in Delhi and in Hyderabad in the coming months. I certainly do hope some of you become part of our organization and kickstart your professional career. We have actually quite a few folks from the previous batches working with us, and I think they have done extremely well. Brief background about me. I've been in the IT industry for more than 25 years, bit old, and started the journey exactly where you guys are today, right? I did my engineering in a small town called Ballari in electronics and communications, EMC. I spent close to 13 years in US working for various consulting firms, and did return back to India for good. And since then I've been part of Speridian Technologies. It's been a good journey, right? No complaints on my end. I'm going to keep my talk. I think I have another maybe 10 to 15 minutes. And I'm going to keep my talk short, but I'm also hoping to keep it very relevant. I do want to start off congratulating all the students to start your most important academic milestone with one of the best institutions in India, SIT. Also would like to congratulate all the parents, and I'm sure you have done a lot of sacrifices for your kids to reach the stage. So congratulations to both. Quick word in terms of the choices. I heard one parent talking whose child has got into artificial intelligence. I think it's amazing today the kind of choices the institutions are offering is really good. Back in our days, as I said, they were pretty much mechanical, civil. There was computer science, but not as much, honestly speaking, and electronics and electrical, right? So it was more with the core companies rather than with the IT and the software demand. But early 90s is when the software and the IT demand picked up. But today, there's just so many choices you guys have. Information science, robotics, computer science with specialization could be in IoT, data science, bioinformatics, so much more. So I do hope that each one of you guys have picked the field that you can actually show a lot of energy and passion towards. You have to understand that you're part of a large crowd, right? As you all know, there are a lot of engineers, right, coming out in India, and so you're part of a big crowd, and it's going to be extremely hard for you to be in that so-called the topmost, right? Which is okay. You don't have to be the best at everything you do. That's my probably takeaway message for you guys. but you cannot be part of the crowd lagging as well, right? So you got to work hard enough to be in the top bracket, if not the topmost, right? Topmost, few people will do well and will achieve that, but not everyone has to, right? There are so many opportunities in the world. There are so many companies who are looking for good engineers, good consultants, that you just have to make sure that you're in the top bracket to get the best out of your opportunity. Quick another word about me so that you get the context. I actually come from a very humble background, but thankfully I've done well enough to do well, good in my professional career. And I just want to maybe use my own experience and talk about small few things. Okay, if you could take away and maybe inculcate some new habits because of what I speak today, right? I'm sure everyone talks about how important hard working is, right? Your parents, your professors, your mentors, everybody does, and absolutely, they're all speaking the truth, right? There's no shortcut in life, or as people say, no free lunches. But so you got to do the hard work, right? There's no two ways about it. But hard work alone is not going to take you to places, right? And that's where I just want to maybe talk about few attributes along with the hard work that's going to make you a complete package, right? Or a better consultant. The first one I would say is, detail oriented. Being detail oriented means, you're paying extremely close attention to all the small particular activities, right? When you're working on a task or a project. Um, and what happens is when you focus on the little details, the larger project or the larger picture automatically gets packaged better with, high quality. Some of the common traits which each of you guys have it. This is not something that is new. You got to read a book or something to learn, right? You got to be observant, you got to be organized. Certainly good math skills will help. But I think one of the things that we always kind of is, we wait for an opportunity to improve our skills. We believe that, oh, okay, fine, once I start my job or once I have to demonstrate a project to my professor, I'm going to focus on this. And I think that is wrong, right? uh, you are going to get opportunities every day, and I think you just have to leverage that, to get better at some of the skills. Your dad or mom might be asking you to do a small chore at home, whether it is cleaning the room. It could be, as I said, demonstrating a project to your professor. The objective of any task, right, that you do, you got to give 100% commitment, irrespective of how small the task might be. And my suggestion would be, the smaller the task, the more detailing it has to be. And it has to be done in a manner where, as I said, you're cleaning the room, or you're doing a presentation, or you're helping your sibling, right, on an assignment. How you put together that particular work, you should not be looking to revisit that work one day or 1 week or 1 month later and say, wish I could have done better, right? Because all that work should happen in the very first attempt as much. There is always room for improvement. There's no question about it. But how detailed are you going in gives the impression. And I'll give you one example. I get a lot of resumes, right? Whether it is freshers, whether it is, and when we say freshers, folks, it is primarily, students coming from the, graduation, or lateral hires, right, with people with experience. There are so many resumes or CVs where just that smaller detail is completely missing. Whether it's, the font might be of different size, whether there's spaces in between the paragraphs which is not consistent. They might have one project that is explained quite a bit, but the another project has got very few words. What exactly they would like to achieve, in terms of their career or life, is kind of not a personalization message. It is more of words that they have copied from Google. And it's not, most of the interviewers, right, when they are looking at the resume or when they actually start an interview, and it's the same thing with a demonstration of your project, the impression that you create in the very first few minutes will become the deal breaker. Whether they're going to select you, they're going to like you, it all depends on what you do in the initial this one. So go with as much planning, but pay attention to the details, right? As I said, I want to give my own examples. When I was in US, I had to sell the house, and the whole house selling is extremely structured in US compared to India. Uh, but what happened is that I think when the potential buyer came to see the house, they did like the house that I was selling, but they were probably not so impressed with maybe some of the cleaning that was done by the cleaners, right? Which I got the impression. Um, we took a weekend, as in me and my family, and we pretty much got on the ground. And one thing in US is everyone does everything, right? To some extent in India, I think we are all kind of corrupted with people helping us, right? There are drivers, there are maids, there are helpers, and whatnot. But in US, you tend to do most of the work. But the entire weekend, we kind of cleaned the house, every nook and corner, so much, so well. Because even though it is not something that we are going to live, right? We are going to sell the house, and someone else is going to buy and live. But when they came to see the house, the kind of the happiness and the satisfaction that we got from them, and naturally they did buy the house because they were extremely overwhelmed with the neatness and the cleanness of the house, that we did end up selling. But more importantly, we got that so-called customer satisfaction, right? Again, we could have taken the shortcut. They were going to buy, we could have walked out. But I think it's about the length at which, right, people say, walk the extra mile. The length at which we went did help in terms of keeping the customer happy. The second aspect I want to talk about is storytelling, right? Uh, I don't know how many of you guys have heard this word called storytelling. It's kind of an ability to put together various data points and tell a story about it, right? It's the ability to share a vision. Its ability to create these sequence of events to convey one simple message, right? It's probably the most powerful tool for self-advertising. Marketing our own skill. And I think in general, we in India, don't want to downplay, but I think we are not good at marketing ourselves. We are extremely hardworking. We are very committed. I'm talking about the DNA of Indians, right? We are very hardworking. We are committed. We are dedicated. But somehow, when it comes to marketing our own work, we kind of downplay. We undersell our work, right? And this is an attribute that is absolutely needed if you have to grow in the consulting world. Whether you're working for an IT company, whether you're going to work for a core company building cars, or constructing houses or the bridges or whatever that could be, right? Or the semiconductors, it doesn't matter. If you do not know how to market your work, it's going to hurt your career growth, right? So, and we get again quite a few opportunities. You don't have to wait for your job to kick off in order to work on the skill. You don't have to wait for a customer demonstration to figure out how to put together a story. I think if you kind of look back your own life, you get this opportunity. It could be that you have to talk to your parent about a particular course that you have to get into, but it's going to cost a lot. You have to talk to a sibling about a tough battle or a tough argument, right? However it is, it could be with a friend, or it could be a good news that you want to share with your parents, but how do you package that work, right? We all keep it extremely bland. We just keep it as very raw, and we do not if I were to say, we do not add spices to our story, right? We don't make it interesting. Um, and the reason I say that is, having spent some time in US, I noticed that when I went there, I struggled, in this area a big time. I used to work hard. To give you one specific example, and this was a project where I was working with around 30 people. Majority of them were from the local, as in Americans. We did have few Indians and few Asians. But at the end of the week, after working so hard, we had to actually sit in a kind of a round table and give status to our project manager. You work 1 week, which means that you have a lot to talk about, right? But we don't know how to actually put together the entire work into a story. So I used to speak, but I'll be done in a minute or two. And it used to hurt me because then I would see my colleagues who, not to say that they were less hardworking, but as I said, we Indians, we love to work hard. We are very good at that. And they tend to have a lot of this work-life balance and whatnot, right? So they go with the belief that 8 hours is what you've got to work. We will do whatever it takes to complete a particular project. But they could talk for like 20 minutes, even though they might have actually done 50% of my work, right? The equivalent to what I used to work. But that used to hurt, right? Because that is a skill, rather than looking them down and saying that, oh, you know what, he's kind of, what do you call us, a bootlicker or however it is. I started observing and I started figuring out in terms of, okay, how best with confidence, without being arrogant, without actually trying to say that, hey, I did all the work. You still have to figure out a way to talk about the good work you've done so that people know, right? I mean, there will always be people who know that you're working hard. But as I said, for you to grow in the industry across the board, as I said, it doesn't matter which field you're going in. If you don't know how to put together a story, if you do not know how to package, it's going to hurt. So practice whenever given an opportunity. And as I said, you're going to get the opportunity every day, whether talking to your friends or parents or professor or colleague, or doesn't matter, peer, however it is. Um, Another example that I've noticed is that I take a lot of interviews as part of my job. Um, Again, this goes back to whether it is freshers or whether it is people with experience. I always start off saying that, hey, why don't you take a few minutes and, give me some background. Freshers tend to make it as statements. There's no story. There's no one statement is not leading to another one. Um, you know, they have the similar background saying that, okay, I've completed my engineering, I scored this much, and my parents do this. I have three siblings. My strength is I'm a hard worker. I love to overachieve. So it's a very common pattern. There's no story around it, right? Each of them are silo statements. Now, if you could change that, saying that, if you could tie saying that, hey, and it doesn't have to be all the time technical, right? It could be non-technical matter too. Saying that, I come from, a place called Mysore, right? So giving some background about that Mysore, what it meant to you. Um, or if your dad is working in banking, right, how banking background has made you better in maybe making some taking some financial decisions, right? So a data point, but what it has meant to you, making some personalization, connecting the dots, all that is something that is very relevant. As I said, most of the interview decisions are done in the first few minutes. Most all the first impressions are so important, right? So tomorrow, if you're doing a presentation, do it in front of the mirror, right? That's one way to, and this is again something that I have gone through. So I'm just trying to put it in simple plain words on what I have gone through. I would speak for hours in front of the mirror, just so that I can put together how exactly to connect my data points and come up with a package story, right? So I do believe that you guys should do that. The third thing that I wanted to talk about is the small talk. Um, again, not something that we do in India as much, right? Um, Small talk is more of an informal type of conversation that we can initiate before something formal happens, right? You could be in front of the customer showcasing your work, right? You could be, and that customer could be anybody, as I said, it could be your professor, where you have to talk about the project you've done for few months. It could be the actual client, right, for whom you've done some, website, you put together a website, however it is. But prior to doing something formal, small talk is just initiating, hey, how's the weather, right? And let's say your client is sitting in Delhi, right? Or your client could be sitting in US. Just a little bit about, hey, how's the weather there? Is it pretty cold? Has the temperature dropped? Or it could be, the current situation, right? I mean, the pandemic and the COVID, how's the COVID situation? It doesn't have to be just a question, right? Because naturally they're going to like it, they're going to answer, but they're going to put that question back to you, saying that, okay, so Savish, how's COVID back in India? And then it goes back to the storytelling, right? You can't just put numbers, which is very bland, saying that, oh, okay, fine, we are around 7,000, 8,000. I think you have to make it a little bit more interesting, saying that no, it's pretty interesting what is going on. I mean, COVID has hurt people big time. There's a lot of businesses that has got hurt, but honestly, there are a few good things that have come out of COVID, right? There's certainly we all have adapted to the new normal far better compared to the rest of the world, as in India. We also have controlled the numbers compared to the rest of the world far better. We also have shown the maturity of able to work remote and be productive. I'm sure our own institution at SIT is continuing to be effective and productive even during the tough times of COVID. So we were able to adapt. But what I'm talking about is putting together a structure around what you have to answer rather than data just as is, right? So small talk is going to help in terms of creating the connect. The reason that connect is required is once you start a demonstration of your product, of your software, of your project, for any reason, right, you're in getting into trouble or you have to ask a question, because you created the connect very much earlier, there's a little bit of that easiness, right? The tension would have got reduced. Now, like, I wish I could do this talk in front of you guys, right? Not easy to connect to 450 plus students or the parents, but it's always easier to look at the audience, pick someone, maybe initiate a small talk, which I make it a habit to do it for every meeting, right? You join 2 minutes before, you connect with the customer, you get to know a little bit about them, and then you start referring to their name every time you give an opportunity, so that you're kind of creating an engagement, even though we are all working in the virtual world, right? Today I'm not able to refer to you guys. I don't have the visibility in terms of who you are because of the larger audience. But if I were to do it in person, I would do it slightly different, right? So that's a little bit on the small talk. The last subject I would like to talk, and I'm going to end in few minutes, guys. I know it's not easy to listen continuously from so many folks. Consulting. Um, you must have heard about this word. I know our educational institutions are focusing a lot in improving our consulting skills, right? Consulting has nothing to do with just IT. It could be in any field, any area where you have the expertise, and that expertise could be politics. It could be, as I said, software. It could be core engineering, fields like automobile to manufacturing to the construction. some of the attributes I talked about, which kind of covers the entire soft skills, whether it is detail oriented, whether it is storytelling, whether it is the packaging work, all that coming together and the small talk with the hard technical skills that you gain from your institution. The package of that makes you a good consultant, right? All the good consultants have to be creative thinkers. They all have to be the problem solvers. They have to communicate extremely well and have the empathy towards the communication, what they're doing, right? All that is needed, but you combine that with some of the other finer or the smaller detailing skills that I talked about, that will make you a good consultant. And today, the customer demands are extremely high. Uh, Back in early 90s, when we cleared from engineering, and we all started our jobs, the expectation from us was not as high. The expectation is much higher from you guys. Today, people with literally no experience are actually sitting in front of the customers. They're actually trying to talk to them about how their HR policies should get better, how the technology can help them, how their customer relationship has to get better, how the sales should improve, how the service should improve. Imagine you guys with limited experience are forced to sit in front of the customer because the customer demands that every consultant, which is every resource who's working on their project, they want them to be engaged with the customer. They want to make sure that each one of them are contributing to the customer success. So there's, I would say, a bit of pressure on you guys to acquire the consulting skills at a much faster pace than what we did. But it's not rocket science. The educational institution, SIT, is going to absolutely help you. But if you think that you're going to learn only in the four walls of a classroom, that's wrong. I think you have enough learning opportunities in life on the personal note, which is what I would like to end my talk. That make sure that you take a good understanding of that opportunity and continue to improve your skills, right? Um, so finally, folks, I want to really wish you all the best of luck with whatever you would like to do in life, and I'm positive you're going to get the support from your parents and from your professors. But do with a lot of commitment and passion. I would like to personally thank Siddhaganga Institute of Technology once more to give me the opportunity to share some of my thoughts, very simple thoughts, and give me the honor of being the chief guest. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Hard work, detail oriented, micro planning, improving skills, both technical and soft skills, 100% commitment, early impression you create, walk the extra mile, storytelling, project management, small talk, consultancy. These are your mantra for success. Thank you very much for highly inspiring, informative, and motivating speech, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Now, SIT Scholarship Award. SIT has a policy of giving scholarship equal to the tuition fee for students joining SIT with CET rank less than 1000. For all the 4 years, this scholarship will be provided, subject to condition that he or she maintains CGPA of 8.5 with no backlogs. For the academic year 21-22, one student is eligible. She is Miss V. Navya of third year Computer Science and Engineering. She joined the institute in the academic year, during the academic year 1920 with a CT rank of 153. I request V. Navya to receive the check from His Holiness, His Holiness. Our Chief Executive Officer, Dr. Shivkumar sir, to address the gathering.
I invoke the blessings of His Holiness Sri Sri Shivkumara Swamiji, our founder president, and submit my reverential pranams at the holy feet of Sri Sri Siddhalinga Swamiji, revered President Sri Siddhanga Education Society, respected chief guest of this inaugural function, Mr. Satish Ganta, Executive Vice President, Speridian Technologies, Bangalore, respected Sri T.K. Nanjudappa Sir, Secretary SSCS, respected Director Dr. M.N.C. Sir, beloved Principal Professor S.V. Dinesh, members of Governing Council, Academic Council who have joined online, my esteemed colleagues, special guests of this function, first year BE, BR students and their respected parents, good morning to all of you. Nelson Mandela said, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. I congratulate the parents first for giving their children the best gift, that is good education, to get into a professional education, that is engineering and architecture, and guiding them to select the top professional institute in the country, SIT Tumkur. Our benign management, Sri Siddhanga Education Society, led by His Holiness Sri Sri Shivakumar Swamigalu, founder, revered president, and His Holiness Sri Sri Siddhalinga Swamigalu, revered president, and our unsung leader, Sri T.K. Nanjudappa Sir, secretary, have provided excellent facilities, committed human resources, and Swamiji showered bountiful blessings to build the young and competent engineers and architects. I submit our reverential gratitude to Swamiji's and profound gratitude to Sri T.K. Nanjudappa Sir. I appeal to all the students to make use of the facilities and knowledge of teaching members and equip yourself with skills and tools to meet the challenges you will encounter in your profession later. I give only 2 tips because already our principal have given some tips and our secretary is going to give some more tips, and Swamiji in benediction also will advise other things. The 2 tips are believe in yourself and achieve the great. The second tip is there is no limit to human imagination and achievement except the limits we put on ourselves. Dear students, be limitless in terms of your imagination. Therefore, every day when you wake up, say to yourself that my best is yet to come and maybe today is that day. I wish you all a comfortable and productive 4 years of stay in SIT. My dear students, I wish you all the best for climbing the limitless ladder of excellence. Excel and bring glory to yourself, your parents, to SIT and our nation, Bharata. I conclude with a quote of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, our respected former president. If every citizen of the nation says, I can do it, that will result in all of us saying, we can do it, which finally leads to the nation can do it. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Now I request His Holiness to hand over the check to Navya. Navya, please. Now I request Honorable Secretary Sri T.K. Nanjudappa Sir to address the gathering.
At the beginning, I offer my reverential pranams to our revered founder president, His Holiness Sri Sri Shivakumara Swamiji, and Sri Siddhalinga Swamiji, our revered president. respected Chief Guest, Mr. Satish Ganta, Executive Vice President, Spiridian Technologies, Bangalore, President of this day's function, respected Dr. M.N. Channabasappa, our Director, Dr. Shivkumaraya, CEO, SIT, Professor S.V. Dinesh, Principal, heads of the departments, faculty and staff members of SIT, new members of SIT family, new students and their parents and invitees. I am honored and privileged to extend a very hearty welcome to all the newcomers, their parents and invitees. Firstly, I heartily congratulate all of you for the excellent choice you have made in selecting SIT, a reputed institution in the country for admission to engineering, architecture studies. You are now a part of the institution that strives for excellence both in teaching and research. Our institute was started in the year 1963 with the blessings and guidance of visionary His Holiness Dr. Sri Shivkumara Swamiji. It was founded on request from philanthropists and citizens of Tumkur. The aim of starting the institute was to provide opportunity to rural students to study engineering. The institute has been imparting quality education since its inception, and our institute has created a conducive environment which encourages every student to attain his or her potential. The development of quality education system largely lies in the committed members of the faculty, excellent infrastructure, supportive administration, and a large pool of learning resources, and last but not the least, hard-working and bright students. Our institute focuses on making every student a good human being and also a successful professional through strategic teaching of both theoretical and practical aspects. Many of our students who have left the portals of this institute with flying colors are now occupying higher positions in renowned organizations in India and abroad. For students who are away from their homes for the first time and facing any problem in settling down in the new environment, I assure you that all of us are available to listen to your problems and help you. We, the management, faculty, staff, and peer students are committed to help you all to get past any of your difficulties to emerge as successful engineers. I would like to take a commitment from all the new students to maintain an amiable relationship with one another, respect your seniors, teachers, and staff members, and make your parents and us proud. SIT is a premier technological institute in the country. We shall all pledge to do our best on its behalf, in honor of its past, in celebration of the present, and especially in anticipation of its splendid future. I conclude my speech, and I wish you all a happy and academically fulfilling journey ahead and outstanding stay for 4 years in this institute. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Now administering oath to first year students by our beloved director, Dr. M.N. Channabasappa, sir. I request all the students to stand up. So, sir will read out the statements, oath, and only students.
Only students stand up.
oath taking by the freshers of 2021, 22, 22 on the occasion of their welcome ceremony on December 20th, 2021. As a proud, the procedure followed for this oath taking is I will read out certain things that are taken out from Upanishads, and when I stop telling something that is a convenient stop. All the students, please stand up. Others are all, they will be seated. I read out something with convenient pauses and you repeat them. As a proud student of SIT, please repeat. As a proud student of SIT, I hereby swear in the holy name of Dr. Sri Sri Shivakumara Swamigalu and in the divine presence of Sri Sri Siddhalinga Swamigalu, I will uphold the fair name of our institute by living up to our motto, work is worship. I further swear that I will bring happiness to my parents, to my teachers, and to our revered Swamiji by achieving excellence in my academic work, attending classes regularly, maintaining good conduct and character, cultivating clean habits, totally staying away from smoking, alcohol, drugs, and any other intoxicant, protecting and enhancing the serene and spiritual atmosphere of the campus, being friendly with everyone and never causing hurt to anyone, physical or mental, not even the slightest. May the grace of God and the blessing of His Holiness be with me in all my endeavors. Thank you very much.
Sir, for administering the oath. Next, benediction by His Holiness, Sri Sri Siddhalinga Swamigalu.
ಜ್ಞಾನದ ಬಲದಿಂದ ಅಜ್ಞಾನದ ಕೇಡು ನೋಡಯ್ಯ, ಜ್ಯೋತಿಯ ಬಲದಿಂದ ತಮಂದದ ಕೇಡು ನೋಡಯ್ಯ, ಪುರುಷದ ಬಲದಿಂದ ಅವಲೋಹದ ಕೇಡು ನೋಡಯ್ಯ, ಸತ್ಯದ ಬಲದಿಂದ ಅಸತ್ಯದ ಕೇಡು ನೋಡಯ್ಯ, ಕೂಡಲ ಸಂಗನ ಶರಣರ ಅನುಭವದಿಂದ ಎನ್ನ ಭವದ ಕೇಡು ನೋಡಯ್ಯ. ಬಸವಾದಿ ಪ್ರಮಥರನ್ನು ಪೂಜ್ಯ ಗುರುದೇವರನ್ನು ಹೃನ್ಮಂದಲ್ಲಿ ಭಕ್ತಿಯಿಂದ ಸ್ಮರಣೆಗೈಯುತ್ತಾ ಚೀಫ್ ಗೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇನಾಗರಲ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಶ್ರೀ ಸತೀಶ್ ಘಂಟಾ, ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟಿವ್ ವೈಸ್ ಪ್ರೆಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ APSC ಹೆಡ್ ಸ್ಪೆರಿಡಿಯನ್ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜೀಸ್ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು, ಅವರ ಸೆಕ್ರೆಟರಿ ಶ್ರೀ ಟಿ ಕೆ ನಂಜುಡಪ್ಪ, our director Dr. M. N. Channabasappa, our CEO Shivkumaraya, our principal Dinesh, heads of the departments, faculty and staff members of SIT, my dear students and their respected parents. Hearty greetings to all of you from Sri Siddhaganga Education Society and SIT. I am happy to participate in the welcome function of first year BA BR students of 21-22 batch and address all the students and their parents. I congratulate all of you and your parents for selecting SIT for admission to first year BA and BR. From 2021, we organized the welcome function for first year students in virtual mode due to COVID-19 pandemic, and we are missing the personal communication with the students and their parents. COVID-19 pandemic posed greater challenges in all spheres of life. The education system was caught off guard. According to UNESCO, 186 countries closed the institutions in April 20, thus affecting billions of students. 33 crore students' future in India was at stake. Had our teachers not accepted the challenge and adapted into digital interventions, that is online education, our students would have lost 1 or 2 years of their academic life. The teachers deserve kudos for making the movement of online education a success in a short time. The facilities available and the quality of online education being offered are highly debatable. Now, the pandemic is receding and normal education will never be as normal as it was earlier, but also never be as abnormal as it is now. Therefore, we may have to adopt the blended and hybrid mode of education. Dear students, you may be asking yourselves how you would spend the next 4 years at SIT and what are you getting from it. Here are some tips. SIT has excellent facilities for attaining academic and research goals with guidance from qualified and committed faculty members. It has also provided excellent facilities for all-round development of students. Please make good use of the facilities and excel in your profession. Our father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi, said, "Your beliefs become your thoughts become your words become your actions become your habits become your values become your destiny." Cultivate good habits which will form the norms of your behavior for the rest of your life. There are a number of good habits such as self-learning, reading, time management, doing yoga, meditation and exercise, and being focused and honest. These habits are briefly elaborated. Self-learning and lifelong learning. There is a universal opinion that there is a decreasing trend among students regarding reading good books and writing the class notes. The committees visiting SIT have observed that the number of students consulting the library is declining. Our library is kept open up to 12:30 past midnight and make best use of it. Therefore, cultivate the habit of reading good books and articles. Good reading has advantages such as improves mental clarity and memory, reduces stress, increases the knowledge base, increases writing skills, improves the ability to focus and concentrate. Dear students, you are here to achieve set goals. To achieve the goals, one has to focus and concentrate. The concentration can be achieved by meditation and yoga. Hence, please practice meditation and yoga at least once a day at the time convenient to you. Cultivate the habit of getting up early in the morning, that is 5 a.m. This will enable you to have time for morning exercises. 4 years at the higher education institute is a short period, and the knowledge and skills you acquire in these 4 years are not sufficient. You can acquire your set goals with good habits. Acquisition of knowledge from higher education institutions is important, but cultivating the good habits of self-learning and lifelong learning are more important, and they stand in good stead when you graduate, and your future career will be smooth and rich. Knowledge without good habits is like returning empty-handed from a mountain of treasures. Time management. You are spending 4 of your impressionable years in SIT. It is therefore important that you guard yourself against a large number of distractions that come in your way through smart mobile phone, TV, internet, magazines, etc., in order that your mind stays focused and steady. It is necessary that the mind is kept occupied and not allowed to be idle. It is rightly said, time and tide wait for none. Every individual should understand the value of time to succeed. Time management means managing the time effectively by allocating right time for the right activity. In the effective time management, individuals assign specific time slots to activities as per their requirements. Therefore, prepare a timetable allocating time for the activities, studies, yoga, meditation, sports, cultural activities. Honesty. Honesty is the first chapter in the book of wisdom, said Thomas Jefferson. The beautiful teaching, honesty is the best policy, has been taught since time immemorial. Honesty is a major component for developing moral character. Honesty is one of the most admired traits of a successful and responsible person. An honest person shows good behavior, maintains discipline, speaks the truth, and punctual. Honesty should be taught from childhood in house and school. Honesty should form the foundation of your core values and principles. Youths are the future of the country, and therefore they should develop the moral character so that they can lead the country in a better way. Honesty shall always prevail, while falsehood is bound to perish. Dear students, be honest in your thoughts, words, and actions. Hardworking. SIT is an autonomous institute, as all of you know. In autonomous system, there is no place for complacence. Both teachers and students will have to be on their toes right from the day one. Hard work is a key to success, and there is no shortcut for success. There is no elevator to success. You have to take stairs, said Zig Ziglar. Therefore, work hard, as there is no substitute for it. National Education Policy 2020. National Education Policy 2020 has provided ample opportunity to higher education institutions to pursue skill-based education and research at the undergraduate level. I am happy to note that, being an autonomous institute, SIT has already introduced a research component and mandatory industrial training in its curriculum well before the NEP was approved by the Government of India. Access to clean drinking water and sanitation, healthcare, air quality, energy including renewable energy, quality education for all the citizens are the serious societal challenges faced by our country. High quality interdisciplinary research needs to be pursued to address these challenges. Therefore, higher education institutions must expand their research activities and work for the societal, environmental, and economic health and progress of the nation. To drive research and innovation, the higher education institutions must collaborate with industries and research and development organizations. With the influence of technological development, the silos between the disciplines are found to vanish. To nurture the innovation leading to startups, SIT has established a technology business incubator. The provision has been made to student innovators to have their startups in the incubator while pursuing their engineering education. Dear students, you have ample opportunities to pursue projects which are beneficial to the mankind. Please start innovating right from now. Use the technology business incubator facility and help the society. Please take a leaf out of book of world's youngest CEO at 17 years of age, Mr. Suhas Gopinath from Bengaluru. I quote, "The young do not know and therefore they attempt the impossible and achieve it, generation after generation," by Mr. Pearl Buck, American writer. I am happy to learn that faculty members of SIT are actively pursuing research. I am also extremely happy to learn that the Department of Biotechnology, Government of India, has approved a collaborative project between SIT and NIMHANS, Bengaluru, with a grant of 4.12 crore to establish a network center for research at SIT to pursue research on stem cell targeted T-cell immunotherapy. Dr. Sudhir Ranganath, Department of Chemical Engineering, is the project coordinator and principal investigator, and Dr. Manjunath Dammalli, Department of Biotechnology, is the coordinator and principal investigator. From NIMHANS, the principal investigator is Dr. Nandakumar and Dr. Dwarakanath Srinivas. I heartily congratulate Dr. Sudhir, Dr. Manjunath, Dr. Nandakumar, and Dwarakanath for their outstanding efforts in getting the project approved. Ms. Suraksha, TS, a third-year BA Chemical Engineering student, has obtained the prestigious Mitacos Global Link Research Internship of Canada. She will be visiting the McMaster University in Canada in July 2022 and working with Professor Ryan Wiley on a research project, Immune Directing Polymers. She is also eligible for a full scholarship to pursue MS degree in any Canadian university after her graduation. I congratulate Ms. Suraksha for her outstanding achievement. This is the second year in a row that SIT chemical engineering students have grabbed this prestigious internship. It was Miss Mahima NB during the previous year. Placements. Despite the pandemic wave across the country and the global economic slowdown, our graduating students have worked hard, and their hard work bore fruits in the form of excellent placements. The graduating students of 2020 and 2021 batches garnered 811 and 911 offers respectively for over 120 companies. Out of these offers, 60 offers in each year carried a salary package of over 10 lakhs per annum. The premium salary was rupees 29 lakh. We have also witnessed outstanding placements in this year. We are in the mid of placement season and already received 947 offers from 80 plus companies. Our students have bagged premium salary package of rupees 32 lakhs per annum, and more than 93 students received rupees 10 lakhs plus annual package. The greatest trend in all these years is that about 100 students each year bagged full-time internship from leading corporates. Many more companies are expected to visit our campus for hiring during 21-22. Dr. Ambalagan Heroji, Professor and Head of the Department of Training and Placement, and Shri K.K. Chowdhury, Assistant Placement Officer, deserve appreciation for their concerted efforts in bringing more companies offering higher salary package and achieving excellent placements. Their students undergo the training programs being offered right from first year and excel in placement process. Dear students, you have taken the oath a few minutes before regarding keeping away from harmful habits like smoking, alcohol, drugs, etc. Please adhere to your commitment sincerely. It is important to keep your teachers happy. The only way to do this is not to miss any class and whatever they advise to do in respect of curricular, co-curricular, extracurricular activities, do it religiously. Your parents have contributed immensely over 1.5 decades for your success. You owe a lot to them and always respect them. Dear students, at the beginning you may feel lonely being away from your parents and family members, but here your teachers will provide you the parental love, care and comfort. Feel free to contact them for help, maybe academic and others. Already our principal told, student welfare is the priority in our college. You are free to meet the principal, your head of the department, teachers, anyone, whenever you face problems. Dear students, I take this opportunity to wish you the very best in your academics and in your professional career. That the beginning that you make today always inspire you to cherish and uphold the values and traditions of the engineering and architecture profession. I wish you to treasure the 4 years of your stay here, set your goals, make your planning, and start from today and spend a meaningful and productive college life. I recall a quote from Albert Einstein. Most people say that it is the intellect which makes a great scientist. They are wrong. It is character, by Albert Einstein. The goal of education is not to get a certificate only, but to acquire good character also. It is said that character and personality are the soul of education. Therefore, all of you should build good character and achieve success in your profession. I thank Dr. Satish Ganta, who consented and delivered his inaugural function address, which is educative and informal for our students. I conclude my address with a quote from Stephen Covey. I am not a product of my circumstances. I am a product of my decisions. I am sure that the parents are with their wards in this virtual function. May the Almighty God bless them and their families with good health and prosperity. Thank you and all.
Pranams to His Holiness for the benediction. Now the last leg of the program, vote of thanks by Professor U.S. Malik. Before we propose vote of thanks, I have a couple of announcements to make. You please log into the same web link at 2 p.m. So we will be the Dean Academic, Training and Placement Officer, and the Student Induction Program Coordinator will brief you through for the next 3 hours. So please log in at 2 p.m. sharp in the afternoon through the same web link provided. For all the parents and students assembled here, lunch is arranged in the Basveshwara block. Please join for the lunch. Over to Mallikarjun for vote of thanks.
I submit my reverential pranams at the lotus feet of His Holiness Dr. Sri Sri Shivkumara Swamigalu and His Holiness Sri Sri Siddhalinga Swamigalu. Good afternoon to all present here. It is indeed my privilege to propose vote of thanks in this August function. His Holiness President of Sri Siddhalinga Education Society, in spite of his busy schedule, made himself free to bless all the first-year students who have joined this year. I take this opportunity to submit all our reverential pranams to His Holiness on behalf of all of us present here and on behalf of all first-year students and parents who are online. Shri Satish Ganta, Executive Vice President and Head, APAC, Speridian Technologies, Bengaluru, Chief Guest of today's inaugural function, has kindly accepted our invitation in spite of his busy schedule, delivered an highly impressive and inspirational inaugural speech online to the to-be engineers. I take this opportunity to thank him on behalf of the Institute and on behalf of all of us who are present here. Thank you, sir. Shri T.K. Nanjundappa, Honorable Secretary, Shri Siddhaganga Education Society, has kindly accepted our request to address the students during this inaugural function and address the students with this motivational talk. I take this opportunity to thank him on behalf of the Institute and on behalf of all of us who are present here. Thank you, sir. Our beloved director, Dr. M.N. Channabasappa, has kindly accepted our request in spite of his busy schedule to administer the oath to the fresh students which make the students to understand how they have to be while studying engineering here. I take this opportunity to thank him on behalf of the Institute and on behalf of all of us present here for administering the oath to the students. Thank you, sir. Our beloved Chief Executive Officer, Dr. Shivakumaraya, has kindly accepted our request to address the new students in spite of his busy schedule. I take this opportunity to thank him for his inspirational address to the students on behalf of the Institute and on behalf of all of us present here. Thank you, sir. It is our privilege to express our heartfelt thanks to our beloved principal, Dr. S.V. Dinesh, who guided everyone to make this inaugural function a success and welcomed all the new students to the portals of the Siddhaganga Institute of Technology and assured them of a quality education. Thank you, sir. The man behind the systematic arrangement of this inaugural function is Dr. G.V. Prabhushankar, Dean Academic of the Institute. I wholeheartedly thank him for all the arrangements made for the successful conduction of the inaugural function. Thank you, sir. On behalf of all of us, I take this opportunity to congratulate Kumari Navya V for being topper of first-year academics for securing the SIT Scholarship Award. Congratulations. I take this opportunity to thank our today's main guests, that is all the newer students joined the Institute and their parents for attending this inaugural function online and offline. My best wishes to all the new students. I take this opportunity to thank all the heads of departments, professors, faculty members who have attended this inaugural function online and offline. I express my sincere thanks to one and all who have involved in arranging this inaugural function directly and indirectly and made it a grand success. Thank you, one and all.
Now I request all of you to please stand up for the national anthem. ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ಒಂದು ನಿಮಿಷ ಪ್ಲೇ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ಪ್ಲೇ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಸರ್
जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 जय